and take 6. I don't know about you, but I'm an adrenaline junkie. Frankly, I go out of my way to get a rush. That's one of the reasons I gravitate toward the scary stuffs, like public speaking, good horror movies, or better yet, a good scary novel. I simply love horror. Don't you? My quest for a good scare started as a wee pup when I watched Dark Shadows, a 1960s era soap opera about a vampire named Barnabas Collins, who was brought to life so exquisitely by Jonathan Freed. So here I am, living in the magical Catskills, where Rip Van Winkle lost himself completely. And I have a killer place to tell horror stories by the campfire. Wouldn't you agree? Dracula, a Gothic novel by Bram Stoker, published in 1897, was the most popular literary work derived from vampire legends and became the basis for an entire genre of literature and film. Did Dracula exist? Do vampires exist? Well, a popular theory among critics is that the character Count Dracula is based on the infamously barbaric Vlad III.
Who else is back there?
Better known as Vlad the Impaler or Vlad Tepes. Vlad was born in Transylvania in the 15th century and was known popularly as Dracula, Dracula, which means son of Dracul. His father was surnamed Dracul after being appointed to a knightly order called the Order of the Dragon. This name was derived from the Latin Draco, meaning dragon, which is the basis for the Elder Vlad's epithet. In modern Romanian, Dracula has evolved to mean devil. Stoker is thought to have picked the name Dracula after reading a book that revealed to him the modern translation. His notes included the annotation, and I quote, "In Wallachian language means devil," unquote, written in response to Drac, D-R-A-C. The name, however, is not all Dracula and Vlad III have in common. Vlad impaled his enemies on stakes to consolidate his power in Wallachia. One account also claimed that while his victims were dying atop the stakes, Vlad would dip bread in their blood and eat it in front of them. Oh, but that account is unconfirmed. Whether Vlad truly consumed blood, the parallels with Stoker's Dracula remain evident.
Who else is back there?
Some critics have argued that Stoker's inspiration came primarily from other sources and that Vlad simply provided the name. Such an impressive mythos has evolved around the story of the vampire. But vampires might not have been all Stoker was up to. Certainly, vampirism is clearly at the forefront of Stoker's novel, be it literal, metaphorical, or just for the Gothic scare. Dracula is also preoccupied with modernity. Some critics argue that the novel is about the relationship between the past and the future, with Count Dracula perhaps representing the primitive nature of the past as it permeates the present and challenges modernization. For example, Dracula drains Lucy's blood, and the newly resurfaced technology of blood infusion fails her. She dies by the hand of the past, despite the use of modern medical technology. As Jonathan writes in reference to Dracula, the old centuries had and have powers of their own, which mere modernity cannot kill. Is Dracula the first vampire? Hardly. Hebrew mythology gives us the story of Lilith and the Estries.
Keep it up.
Lilith is a female demon that is known to prey on the blood of babies, young children, and yes, pregnant women. She was greatly feared and was known to have tremendous bloodlust. Greek mythology references the story of Ambrosio, a mortal man who had the grave misfortune of desiring the same woman as the sun god Apollo. So say we all. He suffered greatly for his determination to marry the love of his life, and was transformed into what many consider to be a vampire during the process. A little-known novella that came before Stoker shaped our reality of the vampire. In 1819, a man named John Polidori published a novella entitled The Vampire, with a Y. This work would go on to redefine how we view the vampire legend today. Instead of a horrid, bloated creature, Polidori transformed the vampire into a suave and charming beast of the night. This new perspective on vampires captivated audiences and only served to make the creature more terrifying. The thought of a seemingly everyday man or woman who could seduce a person into becoming their prey quickly caught on in many colonized countries. For me, vampires are very real, but I tend to believe in the fantastically horrifying. The book Dracula by Stoker is written as a journal, that of Jonathan Harker. I have chosen several selections from the book Dracula by Bram Stoker.